So now you've learned how to do histograms, dot plots, stem and leaf plots. So we're going to figure out how to describe the shape of distribution, which is actually extremely easy. So make sure you're just looking along with your notes. So it says you can use histograms or dot plots to find the shape of the distribution of a data set. The three different types are called skewed left, skewed right, and symmetrical. So skewed left means the tail end of the data swoops to the left. So if you look at this picture down here, it looks like if you were going to go like skiing or something and this was the top of the mountain and you're skiing down towards the left. If that's the case, you call it skewed left. So the tail end of the data extends out to the left side and most of the data is on the right. Symmetric means that it's kind of like a mountain, so it's like going up and down on both sides. So it's basically a mirror image of the right side of the graph. And then skewed right means the data swoops down to the right. So that means that it's kind of like, think if you're on a mountain and you're going sledding or skiing or skateboarding, snowboarding or whatever down to the right. That means that it's skewed to the right. So the tail of the graph extends to the right. Most data is on the left. All right, so we're going to take a look at some graphs and see if we can figure out what they are. So your options are always skewed left, symmetric, or skewed right. So let's take a look at some examples. Okay, so this one says, oop, I just lost it. So this one says, describe the shape of each distribution. So here's what I always do because it sometimes helps you out, is I just kind of like go over it and make like a little loop so I can see what I'm looking at. So if I start here and I go up, over, and then down like this. So because it looks like there's a big hill on the top and then it's kind of sledding down to the right or sliding down to the right, this would be skewed right. Okay, for this one, you're kind of going up here to the top and then down. So because the mountain is kind of like in the middle, so you're sliding down on both the right and the left, this one is called symmetric. So this is skewed right because you're sliding down to the right, and this is symmetric because you could slide down on both sides. Okay, so let me give you a couple to try. Okay, so on the back of your notes, I want you to write example 1, A and B. You don't have to make the chart at all. I just want you to tell me whether you think it's skewed right, skewed left, or symmetric. So remember, skewed left, it looks like you're sledding down to the left. Skewed right looks like you're sledding down to the right. And symmetric means like you're sledding down on both sides. Okay, so see if you can describe what those are. So this one's giving you a frequency table, and it's asking, hold on, I keep losing everything here. So this one's giving us a frequency table, and it's asking you to first make a histogram. So remember that the intervals always go on the bottom, and the frequency, the highest number here is 20, so you can go from 0 to 20 and count by 2s or 4s or any number that goes into 20. So the first thing they want you to do is make a histogram. So when I click on this, they're making a histogram. So they decided to count by 3s, it looks like. Oh, I'm sorry, not by 3s, by 4s. So they have their intervals across the bottom. They have their highest number was 20, but they went up to 24, so that they can't count by 20s, which they didn't really have to do that. They could have stopped at 20, but that's okay. So they have all of their boxes, and you have to make sure all of them are touching. And now it's asking you, what is the shape of this? So it looks like you're sledding down to the left more than you are to the right. So since you're sledding down to the left and it's tailing out to the left, this would be skewed left. Okay, so I'm going to have you make one. So you're going to put the intervals on the very bottom. Whatever the highest frequency is, you can tweak it a little bit so that you can skip count. And then you're going to make your bars, make sure they're touching. And then you're going to look at yours and see whether it's skewed right, skewed left, or symmetric. Okay, so let me give you one of these to try. Okay, so you try this one on the back of your notes. So make your histogram. These are your intervals, so these are going to go on the bottom. Your highest number is 11. I would probably count up to 12, so then you could skip count. Draw your bars, and after you've drawn all of the bars, see if it's skewed right, skewed left, or symmetric. Okay, so try that one. Okay, this is going to be your very last one. So you're going to make one last histogram. So again, these are your intervals. You're just going to copy them across the bottom. Your highest number for this looks like it's 60. So what I might do is do it by 60 and count by 10s, just to make it easier, or count by 5s or something like that. And then draw your bars and tell me whether it's skewed right, skewed left, or symmetric. So that's going to be your last one. Make sure these are all done on the back of your notes.